designed to encourage, empower, and educate real estate professionals by sharing best practices from business leaders that are proven winners. I'm your host, Kyle Malnati, and this is Calibrate Real Estate. Without further ado, we're going to be going to our next presentation. And where this comes from is my man, James Nellis. So James is the OG. Where are you, James? James is, so real credit to James, 2005, 30 under 30 honoree. And James was really, really strategic about his application. And I think for those of you in this room know that there's a system, there's a model, that there's a way to actually uncrack that code. And James talked to me about applying and then doing the second application, and the fact that you've got to really dig in and figure out what your story is. And I think if you guys step into that, it's going to end up making your lives and your careers better. So James is going to be our mastermind host. Now, masterminds, I will admit to you, for me, are a little bit different. I don't come from a company. I've never worked at a national firm. I've only worked at regional or small boutiques. And so masterminding for me is a little bit foreign. So we're gonna have an expert do it. James is the CEO of the Nellis Group, which is a powerhouse team within Keller Williams Capital Properties in the Washington, D.C. area. James knows how to do masterminds. Sorry, I slipped up there. But James knows how to do masterminds. And during our presentation last year, that was one of the biggest pieces of feedback. And we want you to know that this evolves. So we're going to have 3 keynote speakers throughout the day. And then we're going to spend a bunch of time hanging out and masterminding with each other. So, James Nellis, I'm going to yield the floor to you, my man.
Wow, that was really nice golf clap that you guys gave us, as well as the intro clap. Let's do it! Come on! Okay. Now I feel a little bit better about myself, so thank you for that self-enticement. Here's what I want to do. You're going to have some amazing speakers today. We're about to break it into mastermind because we want to pull the genius of the room. Ever been to a conference when you're like, yeah, those speakers were okay, but like my table gave me more than them? That's not going to be this one, but have you ever been in one of those? So our goal is that you don't leave here with that. Our goal is that you're like, oh my God, those mastermind times that we spent was the best thing ever. Let's get rid of the solo presentations. Let's always pull from the genius in the room. So speaking of that, I want you to do this. If you have pen and paper, if you have whatever you have out, I want you to write down right now, and I love the inspirational from this morning. Write down for yourself, and you're not going to have to share this, so don't worry about that. Write down an event that stopped your life. What is an event for you personally that stopped your life? Whatever you thought life was at that moment, life changed because of that event. Write that event down. And I loved your example of the fact that people just build stress, and you build stress. And the longer you've been in real estate, guess what you have more of? Stress. So why don't you write down 3 things that de-stress your life? Whatever it is, you write those 3 things down. Is it riding motorcycles? Is it playing sports? Is it going out to dinner? Whatever it is. What are 3 things that you consistently do that de-stress your life? Hopefully taking you down to 0, as she said. Although I would say most of us, and there's probably come down to it like a 9.5, right? And then this is a fun one, and I love to use the illustration of the song. We've done that before. I want you to write down your life song, whatever it is. As she does it with her group, what gets you excited? What's your song? It was pretty funny. We actually had to clear up the lyrics. We did this a month ago with our team, and people put in some vulgar stuff. We're like, we cannot play that at a meeting. Find us the politically correct version, and maybe we'll think about it. Okay. And I'm gonna give you 2 other things real quick, and then we'll move on. One is, if you've never read, and everything she spoke about, I was like, oh my gosh, this is straight out of this book, The 5 Love Languages. If you haven't read it by Gary Chapman, you should. But more importantly, if you're not running your company that way, you should. Guys, every poll says that money and splits are the 3rd reason they stay with you, right? The culture that you provide, the love that you show them, whatever it is why they'll stay. And then we did this exercise recently, and it was really fun. We said, write down the time throughout your life, the one instance where you felt the most loved. And it was amazing to go around the room and hear men, women, everybody share, all different generations share the time they felt loved the most was this. Talk about a powerful exercise, because it also helps you as a leader to what? Figure out how to love them better, right? Okay, so can you click forward, or do I have the clicker? Never mind. I'm going to do it old school way. Boom. Okay, so this is the exciting part. By the way, we moved lead generation to the front. Why do we do that? Because if you don't have any leads, you don't have any business, agreed? There are a lot of 30, well, I don't want to say a lot because that would make it sound bad. There are 30 under 30s that are no longer in real estate. Why? They can't lead gen. There's a lot of people in your office that are done after 3 years. Why? They've sold all their friends, they've sold all their family, they have nothing left. We laugh because it's true. Okay? So, I'm really excited about these 3 topics. Would you agree that these 3 topics, if you mastered these, which we have 45 minutes for, so obviously you're going to master it. If we master these within the next 45 minutes, you'll sell more this year. This is the cue and response time. This is where you say yes. Would you believe that you'll sell more this year? Good, okay. 3 people alive. Here's what we're going to do. I tried my best. Remember, this is not about me or anybody else. I try my best to get a newer 30 under 30 and the OG, the old guard, in each of these to facilitate. So facilitation leaders, listen to this. You're not there to talk the whole time. Okay? We want everyone to participate. We're breaking into smaller groups so they can. You get to choose whichever group you want to be in. Okay? So, cold call, prospecting, online paper. So you're taking cold leads and you're converting them at a high level. Okay? Scripting. Most of you don't have any business, or at the business level you should, because why? You're not saying the right thing. I had a business mentor years ago that said, James, you need better scripts. I was like, oh, I don't use scripts. He said, have you ever said the same thing to more than one person? Well, yeah. He goes, well, that's a script. The problem is your scripts suck. I was like, he's like, now memorize these, right? And then the third one is repeat referral. So many of you, we put that on Facebook, and so many of you are like, oh my gosh, that's where most of my business is from. Here's what I will tell you this. If you have a heartbeat and a license in real estate, according to AR, 60% of your business comes from referrals. So the question is, this group's going to show you how to go from 60% to 80% or to whatever you want to be at. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. Cold call, online pay-per-click. That's going to be Ryan Jacala, raise your hand, and Kyle Malnati. Okay? These are 2 hardcore cold calling prospectors. You're going to want to listen to that. Okay, number 2, scripting. Michael, I always say your last name wrong. Penensi? Exactly. Okay, and Brett. So we got old school, new school. Brett, raise your hand. Fantastic. And then hot, referrals. 2 people that reached out to me. Tara, yep, congratulations, raise your hand. And Michael, raise your hand. Oh, you know what? One more second. Can I have one more second? Because, boy, I'm really bad at this mastermind thing. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to have 35 minutes. Use those wisely. We're going to come back, and we're going to share in town hall the best ideas for the last 15 minutes. Here's what we're going to do. We want to pull out the genius of the room, and we don't want you to miss out if you weren't in the other group. So look through your notes. Those who are in the referrals, look through your notes. Those who are in the cold calling, look through your notes. Scripting, look through your notes. I want a minimum of 3 things said by 3 different people from each of those masterminds. So, which mastermind wants to go first? Just shout it out. Okay, this is like you hear a pin drop for a second. Thank you, Tara. You actually will not be presenting because you were one of the facilitators. So I want somebody from that group to give me one thing. Who was in the referral group? And we'll admit it because you're going to be voluntold. Yep, great. What we got? One thing. Oh, by the way, 2 things. I forgot to tell you this. So 1, I'm going to hold the mic, so don't grab for the mic. I'm not going to make you eat it either. 2, if I put my arm on your shoulder, your time is up. Okay, go for it.
So this was Brad Allen pulled this out. It was his 30s group, people who would refer you business even if you were on trial for murder. And then the 60s group, and just how to separate those people and talk to them. They're going to be the people who you stay in touch with more often. And then...
So how do you pull the top 30? What are they? Does everybody have a top 30? I just found out I should have one. So tell me what the top 30 is.
These are just the people who are...
Who bought, sold, referred, multiple people?
Yes.
Okay.
People who...
And how do you move the 60 to the 30?
The 60 to the 30. That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay, great. Next. Love the honesty. It's a very good question. Our mastermind got cut short. Thanks, James. Okay, one more from referral. Ryan.
Kyle Kovacs said that when he speaks with someone, even on a listing appointment, he ends it with, what do you do? They tell him their profession, and what is your ideal client for that profession, and how can I get you a referral?
Yeah. Write this down. Law of reciprocity. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, you want more business? Start the conversation with, how can I help you? How can I grow up your business? How can I grow your business? And then what else? Everybody's just taken back by that last one. How can I grow your business? And then what? Your ideal client. What does that look like? So we have a thing. I use acronyms for everything. ACC. Ask, Challenge, Connect. If you learn anything, well, you're going to learn a lot, but please write that down. Ask, Challenge, Connect. We saw all referrals go through the roof when I taught that simple phraseology to all of our agents. Ask is just simply the ford of the frog, right? You guys all know that. Ask about their family, ask about their job, their career. Challenge. That was the whole presentation this morning, right? She's in the world of challenge. Everybody's going through a challenge at some level. To them, it feels like it's huge. Doesn't matter. So you can always ask for the challenge. For us, we're faith-based, so I actually will say, and I love this when they're different faith, I'll say, how can I pray for you? They're like, what? Well, yeah, how can I pray for you? And it's totally, like, disarming. They're like, and then they're like, I don't pray. I was like, great, well, do you have a challenge in life? Well, yeah, I've got like 30 of them. Great, give me one. Okay? And then what's the last C? Ask, challenge, connect. The most powerful thing you could ever do is, who can I connect you with this week that will make your life easier? Well, I need a mechanic. I need a dentist. Doesn't matter what they need. If you're the solution provider, then guess what? They'll never go somewhere else. Good. Last one for referral. One more. Okay. Fantastic. I heard one. What was the name of that company that Brad talked about where you can get the licensing rights to do the movie in the park? Swank. Are you guys using Swank? Okay, good. All one of us. Last one for referral. And we're coming after you, cold calls, so get ready.
Yeah. So Andrew spoke about this neighborhood mayor program he has where essentially they, look to really dominate neighborhoods. And it actually sparked an idea that I've always kind of thought about. A culture in America has gone away from block parties, at least in the Northeast where we are. Maybe it's not the rest of the country, but I've always thought about, trying to create block parties for neighborhoods and, kind of being the one to organize that and get that going, and therefore not invite realtors. Who else said don't invite realtors?
Why not? Let them come to your party that you're throwing. Yeah. Who cares? You're the mayor. You just found that out. Okay. Anything else on the mayor? Give me one thing.
You lay it out, and once you have it, it's a done-for-you system. Most of the players on your team are not going to be as organized maybe as you are. So you lay it out, and then they have the ability to follow the script. And it's a retention because they're not going to go anywhere when you're doing all that for them, and they can go in and dominate a neighborhood very easily with everything done for you.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been naturally doing that without documenting it for 15 years, but this is the first year we actually laid it out, and we've replicated it in 2 different neighborhoods and got tremendous market share very quickly.
Awesome.
One of our markets, we're at 75% at a 1,500 home neighborhood.
75%. Most real estate agents are struggling to get 20%.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the events that tie everything together.
Love it. And if I have no money and I want to be mayor and I want the cheapest event, what should I do?
Probably block party. Get your your insurance, your lenders, chip in, buy the food, the drinks, and send out the flyers. Walk the flyers in the neighborhood. It doesn't cost anything to walk the flyers.
Yeah, awesome. This is the only time I've ever felt tall standing next to Andrew. That's fantastic. All right, cold calls. Cold calls, raise your hand. We want 3 from cold calls. You were the facilitators, no fair. 3 from cold calls. Okay.
You got it?
It's on.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the big things and the mindset shifts is the fact you can call anybody. You can cold call anybody. I mean, this guy's, Ryan is calling an average price of $3 million in his market, and he's cold calling those people, and he's dominating that market. Kyle is calling commercial. And, it's just a mindset. Man, you can call anybody as long as you have a strong value proposition. And, they were talking about finding the phone numbers through like HOA directories, cold realty resource, all those different services.
Which one do you use?
I mean, personally, I use Cold and Mojo for, bringing the data and doing the calls, so that's kind of what I've used.
Awesome. Great. By the way, so we do something fun in our company. We give people a hand, but a clap. However, I think when you do too many claps, it's just annoying. So we just do 2 claps whenever somebody says something good. Even if you don't think it was good, still give them 2 claps because they stood up. But that was great. So give them 2 claps. 1, 2. Oh boy. We had like 3 or 4. Don't worry, we're going to get better. We're going to get better at this. Okay, cold call. Great. You've got one? By the way, the higher you go, the fewer the calls. Write that down, because that's a mind shift that I want you to have. The higher you go, the fewer the calls. What does that mean? The higher you go in an industry, people aren't calling them because they think they're untouchable, which separates you even more when you actually pick up the phone.
If you get an email address, you can send it through iMessage, and now they'll probably respond, and it's less invasive to begin with.
Through iMessage, through like video chat?
So like on your iPad or your iPhone, if you have an email, most of the time it's their email, so they'll get it via text message.
And you've seen your conversion go through on that?
I haven't tried it, but they just suggested it.
Oh. She's like, no, I was in that group for a reason, James. Here's what I want to tell you. If you want to convert at a high level with cold people that don't know you or maybe even care about you right now, that is brilliant, the iMessage. The other is video texting. So on our team, for our conversion, we have call, text, email, video text. And the highest conversion rate we ever get is from flipping around your phone, doing a quick 30 seconds specific to that property, specific to the area, specific to whatever they're asking about, through the roof for conversion. You already went. Last person. No, iPhone or Droid, flip it around and just yourself for 30 seconds or less. Were you in cold calls? Okay, good.
So you have 10 seconds to grab someone's attention.
Yes.
So to do it quick, make a quick introduction. So Gigi Lou, I'm Gigi Lou.
Hi, Gigi.
I'm Gigi Lou, and I'm a realtor at M Squared, or eliminate the...
Who feels like we should... please stand for a second. Who feels like we should put her on the spot? I feel like she voluntold, she's ready. Okay, 3 of the people. Okay, so you're going to call me. Go ahead.
Ring,
You have 10
ring,
seconds.
ring,
Hello?
ring. Hi, this is Gigi. I'm a realtor in NDC.
Okay.
I can't do this.
Don't do it. Hey, give her 2 claps for trying. Give her 2 claps. It was just feel like 3 or 4 claps. We're gonna do a clap game later today. I think it's gonna help everybody. Okay, one more. By the way, if you have not read this book, who's read Fanatical Prospecting? Oh my gosh. That's it? Only that? Okay, write these 3 words down. These will change your life if you ever do cold calling, if you do anything. Disrupt, anchor, ask. Disrupt, anchor, ask. So the reason I put Gigi on the spot was she's right. On the phone, you have 15 seconds or less. I know she said 10. I think 15. 15 seconds or less. In face-to-face, you have 30 seconds or less to disrupt the pattern, anchor a new path for why they would do business with you, and then ask for the appointment or ask for the business. And if you don't do that within the 15 seconds, forget about it. Okay, who do we have left? Scripting, said with vigor. Okay, scripting, which is exciting because most of you don't have the business you want or the life you've dreamed because your scripts are bad, even at this level. So I want you listening for curiosity of, and I love it, oh, well, that script would never work in my market. I had a guy recently, and he's like, oh, well, James, and he was like patting my head. He's like, well, James, you know, my average price point's $2 million, so probably wouldn't work with me. I was like, just try me. 40 days later, he's like, oh my God, that was the best thing ever. So I want you thinking about what everybody shares is like, this could be the best thing ever for you. Okay, so stay in curiosity, not judgment. Did you have something, Tony, or no?
Sure.
Okay, scripting. Ready? Get your pens ready.
Okay, my $500 an hour coach
Ooh.
just said, who do you know? She's like, do it. Ask just those words over and over and over. Come back to me. Because she said the thing is when you ask people yes or no questions, you give them an easy way out so that you ask them questions what makes them think and makes them respond. So ask for an actual name, where instead of being like, I'd really love for you to refer me. If you think I did great work, refer me. But rather, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know?
So give me an example. What would that, so who do I know for what? So you're talking to me and you say, who do you know?
You know, the market's great in this neighborhood. Who do you know that lives here? You know, who do you know that's talking about buying a house? Do you have friends that are getting out of college that are wanting to plan for their future? Who do you know? Who do you know? You know, just
Good.
give me actual names.
So there's a thing called commission breath. We all have heard that before, right? And every real estate agent wants to be what? All things to all people. That's the reason you don't lead generate the right way. The more granular you can get, the better source of the lead, the better quality of the lead. Like she just said about the communities. I wish I was this skinny. Thank you.
I was just gonna.
Oh, sure. Now I'm
yeah,
not taller.
no.
Thank you.
I was gonna say we tweaked. Thank you. Yeah, we tweaked that and just said, who's the next person you know that's gonna sell? I mean, that little thing made a huge difference on our team, and we just kind of every meeting, every daily huddle, it's just ingrained in their head.
Who's the next person you know? Great. Good. Harrison.
I'm gonna hold it. Harrison Beecher, Washington, D.C., largest iPad here. Mike Panisi brought up something that came to mind and resonated. He said, when you have the facts in your appointment or your script, bang the facts. When you don't have the facts, bang the table. So talking about confidence of delivery, I assume that's from practicing, knowing it a lot. So if you have your facts to bang on, because we had two different people talking about, they come in with a lot of data, and then Tony said, I just come in and I just talk greasy to them, and they love me, and we get the listing. So I think that was a cool part. And then for me...
Sounds like I was in the wrong group.
And then in terms of a script for asking for referrals, I have it in our buyer guide that I use because our business is still buyer heavy. Train my buyer agent 3 times through the presentation, and visually at the end on our circular buyer guide, process to buy your home, a circle that says refer all your friends to us forever with a smiley heart emoji in it. So asking a bunch of times, visually reminding them, saying it multiple times and letting them see it, that, oh, this is how you get business, this is how we work with you. And finally, Saria talked about the promise script. She's really good at it, so she can help talk about the promise script, just saying that through this transaction, we work well together. I promise to give you a great experience. I need you to promise to give me at least 1 referral. If you didn't at the end, ask what I could do better, and they will ask what they can do for you instead of a referral. So you're building this relationship of give and give. So
Yeah, that's a great script. Mike Hicks from KW brought that out years ago. It's fantastic. Okay, now look through all your notes. Was there anything that was just amazing or epic that you're like, well, I don't know why we didn't share this yet? So look back through what you learned in your group. Is there anything that you're like, I know this can increase somebody else's business in this room? I'm going to do a slow pan. Right, we got one right here. We're going to take 3 of these.
Well, I really liked what Ginger had to say about her inner circle. And so basically, I don't know if she wants to explain it, but she gets people that refer her into her inner circle and gives 3 gifts each month. And so people are like striving to be part of that because they want a gift every month. Cool.
And what is Ginger in here? What does she charge? Or not charge, but what is, I'm going to charge you to send me people. It's fantastic. It's a whole new thing. So what, you spend how much?
The gifts are between $25 and $30 a month. So this month was welcome mats with their initial on it. Next month's beach towels with their last name. So
you're spending $360 to $400 per person.
No, it's about $100. So we do it for 3 months.
Oh, so only 3 months.
25 to 30 a month. So it's about $100 per referral. No.
So let's think about this for a second. So I give you a referral, and then I get a gift on month 1.
I copied this from someone else, so.
No, this is good. Let's stay with this. So I get a gift on month 1, month 2, and month 3, and then I don't get a gift on month 4.
Right. But we make that clear on the first gift. You're part of our inner circle for the next, and we're going to be.
For only the next 3 months. Mm-hmm. Oof.
Unless they give another referral. So we already have people that have given 4 referrals, so they're in it all year. The thing that I found is we have a lot of men that refer just through business, business to business. Well, their wives never think about their friends and their spheres, but when stuff starts showing up on your front porch and they find out, I could get more of this.
And what's the name of it?
The inner circle is what we call it.
Well, no, what's the name of the company that does it?
We do it. So we just order things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Client Giant does it.
We do it.
Yeah, thank you. Give her 2 hands, 2 claps. Still curious about the 2 and 3. Okay, 2 more. Look through your notes. Does anybody, I love that idea. I didn't know there was a shot clock on love. Like, that's fantastic. Like, I love you, but only for 3 months because you better deliver again. Could be part of why people leave my team. Got it. What else? Michael.
I like this one on a listing presentation. Knowledge is power. If you have the right information, you'll make smart decisions. And then you're giving them essentially what they need to know in order to
Say
make
that
a
one more
smart
time.
decision. Knowledge is power. If you have the right information, you will make smart decisions. So you're saying that to a seller before you go into what they need to hear.
Love it. Love it. Okay, last one. Last one for this mastermind. Yeah, make it good. No pressure.
So on pay-per-clicks, like Facebook, don't give price and location up front. Wait till they give you something.
Yes. Okay. Don't raise your hands. How many other agents, not you, just look to the left or right, how many other agents get a cold lead and they're like, oh my God, I got a lead. And then they set them up for an automatic search and they do all these other things and then they wonder why they never what? Call or email you. They have no reason to. Write this down. Price bracket emailing. Have you ever heard of that? Probably not because we created it. Okay, so price bracket emailing. What is that? So somebody name a community. What's a community in your market? Denver. Yeah. What? Crisper Creek? Now we're just making things up. Okay, so in Rolling Creek, okay, doesn't matter what it is. So the lead comes in for Rolling Creek, okay? So when the lead comes in, the mistake most agents make is, I'm gonna set them up for a hot feed. So anything that comes up in Rolling Creek, they're gonna get automatically, right? They will never call you. They came in on that one listing, 123 in Listing Creek. Guess what? They're never going to call you either. Why? Because when you send it to them, they're like, well, I don't want to spend $800,000 for that. So here's the key. Price bracket emailing. You're not going to make it up. You're going to do the research. I'm going to do the research for Rolling Creek. Let's just use $500,000 as the average price point there. You're then going to send that lead, and you're going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, right now there are 4 homes under $500,000 that may match your needs. The next price bracket, $500 to $600. Would you agree that somebody's willing to spend $5 would go to $550 if they really liked it? There are 3 homes. Now you have to do your research. There are 3 homes between $5 to $6. And then there's 4 homes between $6 and $8. If you're in, by the way, there's nothing clickable. If you're interested in any of these properties, please reach out and let me know. We started doing this back in the late 90s. And what I can tell you is it revolutionized the way that we got people for the call to action. There's a real call to action, isn't there? Because they can't get the data. By the way, would you agree that most of you have sold at least one house off market in your life and never hit the MLS? So if you're not using the term off market, and if you're cold calling, you're not using make me move, then there's a problem. What is the phraseology you can use? So I teach a whole course called Real Estate Terminology. And one of the things I hope you take away from today is creating your own terminology that nobody else has. So the challenge is most of you say, oh yeah, I can do a free CMA for you. CMA stands for? Yeah, and so what the consumers see is it stands for everybody else. So there's a guy out of Hilton Head, South Carolina that taught me QMA, qualitative market analysis. I said, what? He said, yeah, qualitative market analysis because it is both a science and an art when you price a home. Would you agree with that? When he said that, I was like, oh my God, hold on. It's a science and an art. Wrote it down. What do we call ours now? Not a CMA. That's what the typical realtor do. We do a QMA now, a qualitative market analysis. So let me ask you this. I think in a room, there's a lot of powerful people here. What, if you're willing to share, what is a terminology that you use that you know is distinct to you and your market, whereby if you're calling or going in for a new lead or an online or even a referral, they're like, oh my gosh, nobody else does it that way. So who's got it? You've got one? So I want to get at least 3 of these before we go to break because I think this is very powerful. Before I go to this, let me leave you with this one. If you've never used this, you should. I properly stole it from a guy in Alabama. I will not repeat the Southern accent because I'm from D.C. What he said was, you're going to go with our company because I'll be the defender of your equity. I was like, what? Wrote that sucker down. Figure out how to say it Southern because it sounds better. Be the defender of your equity. Nobody else is saying that. So those are the type of lingo that we want to share with each other.
This isn't even totally unique, but I'm amazed that about 80% of the time people say no one has done it for them. Everyone's offered a CMA. No one has offered to show them their net.
How much they would net.
Right.
And how do you say that? You just say, I'll show you what you'll net?
Would you be interested to see how much you would net at that sales price? Has anyone broken it down for you what you would actually take home?
I did a deal with a new agent who never did a net sheet. We get to the closing table and the seller's bringing money to the table he doesn't have, so the deal falls apart.
Anybody else want to opine about bad things in real estate? Okay, here's what I want to challenge you with. There's those appraisers. There's other things that you're saying that you may not even know is unique. Okay, we got 2 more. Let me challenge you with this. We started making calls this year, similar to what you mentioned about a net. But who cares about the net? What we do is an update for your wealth portfolio in regards to your real estate holdings. Now, I only heard 3 so the other people are sleeping. An update for what? Your wealth? Yeah, when you know it, just shout it out. For your wealth portfolio, for your real estate holdings or asset, or if they only have 1 property and you know that, great. What's your unique?
If you got a stale listing, it's probably good for expireds too. I send out reverse offers. So if a buyer start coming to see the house and no offers are coming in, I just tell the seller we'll just start sending offers to buyers. So nothing stops you from filling out a sales contract.
How many did you put under contract last year with the reverse offers?
Probably only like 3, but it's better.
That's
than
3
0.
sellers you sold that nobody else did.
Yeah.
Nice. Give them 2 pings on that. Okay, Amanda.
We use what's called a correct market position or a CMP.
Whoa!
And it's just
correct market position.
Because in a marketplace where there's a lot of inventory, this is a way to identify absorption rate. So you do the calculation for absorption, which is how many houses were on the market in 1 year, how many houses are currently on the market, and how quickly is the market absorbing them. And so in a marketplace where there's more inventory, which isn't mine lately, and I haven't had to do them, what you're doing is you're showing them how quickly their house is going to be absorbed. How much time do you have? How quickly is your house going to be absorbed into the market? So when I do the market analysis, I'll tell them, you know, you're going to get a CMA from me. You're also going to get a CMP. Is anybody else doing a CMP for you? Of course, they say no. This is the same strategy he uses. And what you're doing is identifying how quickly. So I'll say to them, you've got 3 homes on the market today, one at 400, one at 405, one at 415. Your home is worth somewhere between 390 and 410. Your correct market position would be to position your home lower than that. And this is the analogy of the grocery line, right? Like if somebody keeps cutting ahead of you in line, you're never going to get out of the grocery store. And so pricing your house relative to the competition is the second conversation, and that's the correct market positioning.
Yeah, give her 2 on that. You know, it's crazy. Correct market position would assume that everybody else that gave you data points was not what? Correct. I love that. There's an agent in Charlottesville, and she has, well, yeah, you can do this commission plan, but this one is the smart seller program. I was like, what? So like basically everyone that doesn't do the smart, which by the way is an extra %, everyone that doesn't do this program is not what? Smart. Okay. What? You've got one that's going to blow them away. Oh, you know what? You're going to share is your map. Oh, my map. Yeah, this is fantastic. So how many of you want more referrals that you don't have to work for to just get paid by other 30 under 30s this year? Well, that's a horrible response for her intro. So how many of you want more referrals this year? They're just ready for break. But I want you to share the map, because this is, when she showed me this, I was like, oh my God, that is fantastic. And I was like, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to use it. Haven't done anything with it yet, but I just want you to know about it. Okay, here we go. It's on the list. There's a lot of things on the list.
So it was really just at first a way that I could write more travel off, but I didn't really like going to classes because I didn't feel like that was an effective way for me personally to meet other people, because I just wasn't that friendly, honestly. And so I started just finding markets where my clients would move to and from, places my clients moved to, cities I just wanted to visit, etc. And then I research realtors. I start with a 30 under 30 group. I find someone there who has a similar marketing style of my own. I reach out to them. I'm going to say, I'm going to fly to your city and take you to lunch so that I can learn more about you, learn more about your market, speak intelligently about your city to my clients, and then I send out a map to my clients every year or two that says, hey, I have personally chosen, interviewed, and visited these people so that when you and your family moves to different areas, let me be the person that takes care of you through all of that. So even if your aunt is moving from Dallas to Houston, I know the best realtors there, and I went and met them myself.
So this is cool. Tell them about the map. So on the map is what? Would it be like James Nellis and my cell phone and email and everything?
Never. So the map says James right next to a star in DC, so they have to reach out to me to get the connection for each thing.
Just like we were talking about price bracket emailing. So they still have to go back to her, but they see, wow, look, on a map of the whole U.S. or even the world, she knows these people. Oh, and then you have the teaser of, if you're thinking about moving somewhere where I don't know,
just let me know and I'll go there. And I've had people be like, I'm going to move to San Jose, and I'll be like, I'll be there in a week. And so,
how crazy is that?
And you get to write it off.
So she has her clients reaching out and say, I trust you, I know you, I'm going to the city, you don't have a star on it. Do you know somebody? She's like, no, but I'll travel there. This is super exciting. We are diving right into another mastermind. What? Yeah, another mastermind, okay? And here's what we're going to be focused on. Getting down to business. There's an alarming statistic. Remember how I opened trying to be positive by saying a lot of people aren't even in the business anymore? Anybody remember that? Yeah, it's very positive. So I asked Rob, the godfather of, give him a hand, two pings. They were very confused because they wanted to give you more than that. He actually has a stat. He goes, James, that's always fun when you give a stat that you don't know about, so let me give you the real stat. I thought this was exciting. Go ahead, Rob, please.
Oh, yeah, I'm not supposed to touch it.
He's the only one I was going to let actually do it. Okay, I'll hold it. Go
All
ahead.
right. Well, actually, I want to start because this idea started with Brad was giving me grief about being the gatekeeper of a 30 under 30 email list. So we actually had to divide it into two because there's so many from 2000 to 2009 and 2010 to 2019. I wanted to see how many people were still active from that first 10 years versus now. The number is this. 27% are inactive. Out of 300, that's 81 from 2000 to 2009. We've made some changes, significant changes to the program, the application, people on the team. From 2010 to 2019, the percentage is 4%, 12. So also, James He wants everyone that's from that 2000 to 2009. If you were part of one of those classes, please stand to be recognized.
If you're a survivor and old, stand up. Yes.
And talking to a lot of the folks that are still active within that group, they wish they had this when they were 30 under 30. So this is, I guess, the message to everyone from that 2010. Keep coming to these, keep sharing. I love the fact what Kyle said, reach out to each other. Even if you got something going on personally, like this group is here, it's your support system. So we're gonna continue to make changes. We already have 8 on the list for what we wanna do next year, but this is just an exciting group, and thank you guys for putting this on, everyone involved with that, and obviously letting me crash. So
give Rob a big hand for everything. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, you see on the screen what we're going into now. I'm actually pulling up the leaders that we have for this, which some will be a surprise. Like I said earlier, we like to embrace the awkward here. So here's what we've got. Boutique brokerages. Brad Allen and Ryan Gillen will be doing that. If you are part of a boutique brokerage and you want to talk about recruiting, training, and retaining, you're going to be out there with Ryan and Brad. Ryan, raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Teams. How many of you in here are a team of 4+? Raise your hand. And leading that's going to be Amanda. Please raise your hand. And Christy. Okay. Solo. Now, this is always awkward because I ask raise your hand. And then, like, how many solo? Raise your hand. Okay. So there's like 30 people that didn't raise their hand. How many confused? Okay, great. Okay. Solo. Mary Young and Devin. But here's the key. And I love it because even our first panelist talked about that. Agreed? Talk about how do you retain people for cheap, right? Retain, recruit. So, solo practitioners, team lead. We want each of you coming out with at least 5 ideas. 5 ideas from this shared by people, not the facilitators, for how you're going to change the focus, the source of your business, and how you're going to find people. The people that I chose for this are all amazing. They're all doing unique things, which is why I wanted them to facilitate. How'd your leaders do this time? Did they rock it? Still not a lot of energy on that one. Got it. Don't look to your leaders right now. Just move forward. Got it. Okay, here's what we're going to do. In our company, we do something called an awesome sighting. Have you guys ever heard of that or done that? So it's one thing to be up and be like, you know, I'm really good and this is what I did and, you know, I sold a lot of houses and I'm so much better than everybody else, right? That's not what we want here. What we want is if you're in your mastermind, you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I can't believe she's doing that. Rather than you standing up to say, oh, well, this is what this person does. Instead, I want you to awesome sight somebody in your group because you're like, that was amazing. Share that with everybody in the group. So let's start with the group that was up here. This is teams. You want to start with teams? No, we're going to make Brad's team go first. They were boutique and brokerage owners and anything else we want to talk about on that. So awesome sight somebody from that group besides Brad. Who do you want to awesome sight that had a great idea of how they recruit, retain, other R words? Stephanie. Fantastic.
I am Stephanie Cummins from Mississippi, and I own a brokerage with 32 agents. And my business partner and I are both competing, so we're a little different than most models. But the agents that we have, like the other Stephanie said, we are a family. And what I would say probably the best thing that we did is our agents hit their goals, so we surprised them at our Christmas party. They unwrapped a present that was a cruise. And
Nice.
we paid for them to go on the cruise. They could pay for a family member to go on a cruise. Probably cost about $10,000 to send everybody, but the relationships that were formed on that trip were, I mean, there's still a lot of people who didn't even really know each other as well are really good friends now. And we've done it twice. And you want to talk about some buzz between your clients with hitting goals and what do y'all have to hit this year to go on a trip? And then, but one thing we did, we took everybody. We didn't just take the people who reached their goals because we felt like some of the people at the bottom getting to be around those top producers in that kind of setting, they were able to learn stuff, figure out some new things to do and that kind of thing.
Very good. Give her 2 claps. Who else from boutique brokerages? Michael.
So, interview process, really I defined a while ago that there's certain people I want to work with, certain people I don't want to work with. I don't want to work with people that are negative, so I only hire people that are positive-minded, period. The second thing is pretty low standard, but that's the truth. Like, the second standard is growth mentality. So if you're somebody who wants to do 3 deals a year, I'm not the right broker for you, because quite honestly, like, that's not what I'm looking for in my agents. Like, we have the highest, per agent productivity in the area, and that's what I'm all about. So I want somebody who's positive-minded, is gonna add to the culture. I want somebody who is looking to grow at a very high level, because then it's worth my time to invest in that person to help them grow. Can't care more about your business than you do. So, you gotta be invested in it, and that's something, those are probably the 2 standards that I live by.
Two questions you ask. One, to make sure that they're positive, because everybody's positive when they're trying to get interviewed, right? So what's one question that you ask them?
The honest truth is I don't have a question for positivity. It's just kind of a gut feeling. Yeah, so the second question for growth is, what does success look like to you? What does success look like to you? It takes different forms, because I'm very conversational based. Like, it's not like I'm reading down an interview sheet. In the course of the conversation, I'm like, all right, well, what are you trying to achieve this year? What does it look like? What are you trying to build long term? Because I want to know, are they looking to build a team? Or are they looking to be out on their own and do their own brokerage? Am I going to invest 3-4 years in somebody? And
Okay, you're done now. Okay, give him 2 hands. Give him 2 hands. Kyle's very aggressive today. Embrace the awkward. Good.
I didn't mean to cut him off. I was just
What he's saying is not important. You got to do this one. Go ahead.
God, this better be good. So I always ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how lucky do you think you are? And to me, that determines how grateful they are in life for what they have and how they look at life.
Give it to me one more time.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, she's standing up now. She's like, I'll give it to you. I'm ready. Go ahead. 1 to 10. Go ahead. No, just finish. It's good. It's good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how lucky do you think you are?
Yeah.
In life? What's your answer? 8.
8. And what can make it a 10 to get you into this new car? Great. Okay. Are we done with boutiques? We had 3. Okay, next one is teams. Teams. Awesome site. Somebody from the teams that had a great idea in teams. Saria.
Oh, hi. Okay. So I was talking about retention, and one of the biggest problems that teams have is team members leave to go build their own teams, right? So what our team has done is given our agents the permission to build a team within the team. So our listing agents are able to grow showing agents who become buyer's agents underneath them, and our buyer's agents are able to build teams of showing agents or eventually buyer agents as well, and that's really helped us. We have agents on our team who have been there 10 and 15 years. So it's
this is a good one. So
reason to leave.
So I'm brand new. I'm a showing agent. How do I make to the next one and then the next one?
Yeah, so as a showing agent, you start off either with one specific agent on our team or as a showing agent for the team.
Okay.
And as a individual showing agent for like myself, they get a certain percentage of every dollar that I make. They touch every single client. I do not show any property. The only time that I see my clients is at the buyer consultation and at the closing. And my repeat and referral business is higher than it's ever been because they're actually getting the service that we're promising them. They get to go and see a home on their schedule, not on mine.
How do I graduate out of showing agent?
When they really feel they're ready. Honestly, a lot of them get so comfortable in the showing agent role because there's less liability. They don't have to do the hunting and gathering. So they really get comfortable. I mean, my showing agent will make almost 6 figures this year. So it's not a demotion by any means, but it's making sure that you're referring to them as a partner.
How do I graduate from that agent to running my own team within your team?
Whenever they're ready.
Is there a unit count?
No. Every agent, it's going to be different. So especially with bringing on a showing agent, some people might feel overwhelmed when it's 30 units. Some people, it might be closer to 50. So for me, I always ask, if you bring them on too early, you could lose talent, right? Because then you don't have enough business to provide them to serve their family. And if you bring them on too late, you lose clients because you're not able to give that service that you provide. So unfortunately, there's no set unit, but when you feel that your clients are the ones who are hurting, it's time for you to bring on help. Put your ego aside, which can be hard for realtors. We've got our pictures on everything, right? So it can be really hard, but it's about your clients and their experience, and they are going to get a better experience when they're working, when you have a partner who's helping them.
You had a quick, hold on. You had a quick question. Did you hear the question? So if you're on somebody else's team, can it go under your production name or does it go under the team leader's name?
So ours goes under the team leader's name. If they're so worried about name recognition, it's not
They're gonna leave you
a good
anyway.
fit. They're going to leave anyway. All that matters to me is they know my name when I walk in the bank.
Okay. Oh. So that was one. Did we get two more from the teams? Eric is shouting himself out. Fantastic.
I thought that Rachel and Amanda brought up a really awesome point that you have to continuously sell your team members or your partners, you have to continuously sell your partners and colleagues on the team daily. So reminding them great job on that closing, and reminding them where that lead came from on a daily basis, and shouting people out, having team meetings, and making sure that it's basically a love fest is what was shared. So I thought that was awesome.
So here's a quick question. How do you currently love, great, you can do the cookies, you can do the treats, you can do all this. How do you consistently celebrate them for them doing exactly what you want them to do, for them selling 5 homes in a week, for them doing whatever it is? I remember my sister and I worked together. It's a family business. And my sister calls me and she's like, I did this, da-da-da, which was a big deal for her. And I'm like, great. So what about da-da-da-da-da, right? We've all been there, haven't we? And we have a relationship. She's my older sister. She's like, stop. I was like, what? She's like, stop right there. You need to celebrate me. Like, what? Now, none of your agents would ever do that, but like your family can. You need to celebrate me right now. And I was like, wow, like that was very convicting to know that I'm so business-like. Like, that's good you did that, but I want you to sell 50 or 100 or whatever. Like, you don't need a pat on the back. You need more sales. But the challenge is if you're not celebrating them, they're not going to embrace your culture and they're going to go somewhere else. So let me ask you this. Whether you're solo, boutique, whatever it is your current, and Rob and I were talking about this, is your current business big enough that you could recruit anyone in this room? So as you're building teams, and I love the team within a team concept, that's always my challenge to somebody. Why do people leave you? Because your vision's not big enough. Now, but that might be okay, right? The reason we have solos is they don't want to grow. They don't want to get to that level. To them, their perfect life and their sanity is them and one admin. And there's a sweet spot. So I don't want you to get lost in the team evolution concept. There's 2 sweet spots. The one that we all know is 18 to 25 million with one admin and maybe one agent. Huge profitable. You're over 50% unless you're running the wrong way. The next one is what? If you have a larger team and you continue to expand that team, you better be over 100 million. Minimum 75. Or what you're going to see at your bottom line is you would have been better off doing what? Being by yourself with one admin or 2 admin. I know a top guy that did 200 million. He had 2 leasing agents and 2 admin. And that was it. And did 200 million. Do you think his profit was good? It's fantastic. Okay? All right, one more on teams. Nobody else on teams? Okay. You got one on teams? Okay. Last one on teams.
I'll help you out here. Carlos made a good comment. He said the opportunity. We felt like the opportunity is the missing piece that a lot of people for retention. So if you can create that opportunity.
What's my opportunity on your team?
My opportunity on our team is very similar to what you have. We can build a team within a team, and then we can also expand into multiple markets and things like that. So that's what our value proposition to our team. Plus, we lay out the done-for-you systems with all of our marketing.
Yeah, if you're not revisiting your own USP, your own unique selling proposition of why somebody would be with you, guess what? They never will. So there's got to be a minimum. How many would you say? You'd have to have a minimum of at least 20 reasons of why to be with your team, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or 21 if you want to be one better than him. Good. Solo. Awesome site, somebody from the solos. Who's doing something at such a high level? Who is it? Kyle Fast Food. Kyle, I don't know where this is going to go. Chick-fil-A's closed on Sundays. Did you fix that? Okay.
My example was actually Chick-fil-A. Whenever we're looking to staff properties with leasing agents, and I think this would be good for a team too, looking for an admin, Mary brought up the point. She hired a teacher. Where are you? There you are. Okay. So she hired a teacher who had a master's, was making $29,000 a year. So when I'm looking to staff a property, I just go into local fast food restaurants. If you find somebody working at a fast food restaurant who's smile, happy, has good energy, they're probably making maybe $10 an hour or so. You can double their pay and put them on salary, make them work normal hours, no overnight hours, and they're tremendous employees.
Quick one. Shout it out. Best 2 pings. I love it. Okay. Shout it out. Talent outside of talent, and this is huge. This works for everybody. So Chick-fil-A. Shout out another one. Where's a place, restaurants? Where's another one where bartenders, absolutely. Where else? Baristas. Shopping, retail. Where else? Coaches and educators. Hotels, preschool teachers. You want one you haven't said yet? Social workers, that's a good one. Nurses, just tell us. This is not fun anymore. There's an industry that's dying because of the way they've been managing it. And my expansion director came from them. We've hired multiple people from it. 3 of our ISA division came from it. Right now, completely fleeced. Go to your local area, and it's Zales and K's. Their parent group is imploding. Their managers are running away. And these managers know how to sell at a high level. They know how to give service at a high level. So if you have any of those in your market, you want to find those people because they already get it. Okay? All right, one more from the solo. Was it? Oh, we're back to teams. Oh, Harrison just gave up on y'all. Solo ain't got nothing. Let's go on, man. No, I did. You said some really nice things.
Did I?
Yeah. Nice. Go ahead.
So when you bring somebody onto your team, all they want right now is a job, right? They want money and income. Eventually, they're going to hopefully start making money, and now they want time. So the plan that you have with giving them opportunity to grow within your company to leverage other people to start taking some stuff, now they're going to get time and have a life and money.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Was there a second one, or was that it? No, give them 2 pings. That was great. As I've started recruiting people and teaching how to recruit, there's 4 pillars in life. Why are there only 4? Because I just said there's 4 pillars. So just like there's 5 love languages, right? So there's 4 pillars in life. You may want to write these down. Business, health, wealth, and personal growth. And what I can tell you is when you're trying to attract talent, everyone's in that phase. Let me walk you through it. Somebody that's brand new, guess what? They need to sell houses. They need to have business, which means they need to have money. Agreed? Does everybody like money? Yeah. Money. Say money on 3. 1, 2, 3. Money. Okay, we're still awake. We haven't fasted yet. Okay, second thing is you've accrued enough business to have money that you now have to do something with that money, so you're now in the wealth pillar, right? So this is your expenses to live on. This is what you've grown to. Now you have this extra cash. What am I going to do with it? Now I'm going to move, like in the cash flow quadrant, move over to the investor side, right? So now I'm in that wealth pillar. Well, at some point, and we heard it this morning, at some point either you or a family member has what? Some type of a health scare. And now their health is more important. The real estate agents eating fast food all the time, now they're fat and lazy, and they're like, I gotta get back in shape. I've got one of our agents has adult diabetes. Okay, that's real. Why does he have it? Because he was always on the go, he's always been in the sales world, and he just eats crap. Okay? Then, ultimately, you'll figure out in your personal journey, it's not about selling another house. A lot of you are just conventioned out. Agreed? You've been all the conventions, yes, sell more, I can already sell, I can make my living. It becomes, what's my personal growth journey? So when you go to retain and recruit, it's somebody always has a challenge in one of those pillars. And your goal is to find out, where is their challenge? Is it they need to lead generate more business, which is what we started with this morning? Is it that they have so much money now, they don't know where to invest it, and they don't know how to teach others how to become wealthy? Or is it, you know what, their health has to be their focus right now? If you've gone out to eat with me this week, it's been very depressing. The reason it's been very depressing is because I'm vegan right now, and basically I get a plate of sadness every time I eat, okay? Especially here, oh my God. Then you move into what? Then you move into where a lot of us are now. You're not worried about your business, you have a little extra money, you've started to do things. Now it's, where do I want to be in my future, and what legacy do I want to leave for my kids, for my team, for whoever it is? So what I want to challenge you with right now, for you wrote those 4 things down. Repeat them with me. Let's do it in order. 1 is business. 2nd, wealth. 3rd, health. 4th, personal growth. Circle which one is a challenge for you right now in your life. All of them. E, all the above. Circle which one's the biggest challenge right now in your life. And here's all our challenge. People who put this event together. Here's my challenge to you. Whatever you circled, find somebody that's really good at it this week and ask them.